Hello, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal Hinkle. I'm part of the team here at Synchro, and I will let the other members of the team introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, it's Tatiana. Welcome.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. It's Hannah. Nice to see you all.
Hannah, I just have to say that I really love that you're wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt. That just makes me happy.
Yay! Can't go wrong with Disney. Yeah.
You cannot go wrong with Disney. I love it. Okay. Well, anyways, I kind of sometimes go off on different directions. I'm Crystal again. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Open Office Hours. This is really for you. And it really doesn't matter if you have never looked at Synchro before, if you're trialing Synchro, or if you've been a customer for years. This is a great place to come and ask whatever questions that you have, whatever's come up throughout the week. And all questions are fair game. We use the Q&A. So just so you guys know, if like you see us looking on a different screen, I know everyone out there has about probably a gazillion monitors. And so if you see us looking over there, that's what we're doing. It's the best way for us to manage questions as they're coming in. In addition to that, we do use the chat internally, like we'll send you links and things like that, or if we have recordings, we'll go ahead and send those through the chat. And that chat does go away once we end broadcast. So make sure you click on anything that you're wanting to use for yourself. But really, it's always funny because like, I think everyone kind of like plays chicken of who's going to be the first person to ask a question. So please don't hesitate. While we're kind of waiting for questions to roll in, I figured I've been launching this poll recently just to see who's attending Open Office Hours so that we can provide, the best experience and content that makes sense for everyone. So let me hear some questions. What all did you come here to find out? What's going on? Oh, I just see a really long one. What country are you in this week, Tatiana?
I think this is Greece. We'll say Greece. That's where we're traveling today, guys. Welcome to Greece. If you guys haven't been here before, or if this is your first time, I switch up my backgrounds every single week just because I'm that type of person. I love new things, trying out new things, and I decided I'm tired of sitting at home. So we have been traveling internationally with our Zoom background. So we'll just say this week is Greece. Welcome, everybody.
I like it. You can go to Greece. Awesome. I have not read through this question from Laura. Has anyone had a chance to tackle this one?
I'm looking through it right now, and so I can go ahead and read it out loud and then explore a little bit further. And then I think I have a recommendation, but we'll just go from there. So Laura is asking, is there a comprehensive documentation as to how Synchro handles email, especially when it auto sends an outbound email? We do our best to avoid having any email auto send from Synchro as we do not fully understand what all the triggers are and what exactly is sent. And then there is a use case that she has here. And so for Laura, for your specific use case, I'm not 100% sure what you have set up. What I would actually recommend is to open a ticket with technical support so they can take a look as to why an email was sent. But what I can recommend for you is to, and this is for everybody as well, in the administration section to go down to tickets and ticket preferences. And then there are going to be a couple of options for you here, as well as in the additional settings. And so anything that indicates that something would be automated that you don't want to be having an automated email go out to them. Things like ticket comments, do not email ticket comments by default, do not email initial issue by default. There's another one as well, kind of down here. I think I saw tickets, send ticket autoresponder for emailed in tickets. So if there's anything that you don't want to be auto responded, definitely come through here and uncheck the ones that you don't want, or check the ones that indicate that they don't email. But for your specific use case, I would recommend emailing into support. That way they can take a look into your account and see what triggered that to go.
Okay, thank you so much, Hannah. I had a question here from Andy. The question is a request: when you create a worksheet, it's so awkward when editing, especially when cloning a worksheet. You can only see a few, whoops. You can only see a few words in the text box and it's super difficult to work with. So I'm sorry to hear about that, Andy. I will definitely pass it along to the team to see if that's something that we can put onto the list of feature requests to prioritize. So I'm going to share my screen. For those of you guys that are not aware of worksheets through Synchro, this actually is a feature that's been around for a while. And sometimes I feel like people miss it as they're trialing, but it is super, super useful. Helps maintain consistency for yourself, for your team, as well as creates consistency from your customer's perspective as well, just keeping everything organized. So if you guys don't know what worksheets are, if you click into any ticket, you can click add new and either create an ad hoc worksheet, or you can build out any type of worksheet that you want. So I'll show you the virus removal one, which if you've been on a demo with me, I've probably showed this to you because I think these are super cool. But if you have a way to, like if you can say, if this is the problem, I need everybody to fix the issue in the same exact way. So again, providing consistency for yourself, for your team. If you're a one-man army and you're just setting up your processes now, keeping up that consistency and then setting that level of expectation for your first hire is going to be super helpful. You can see who clicked the button, when they clicked it. If they're unclicking, you can ask them why. And then if necessary, another example here too is, for example, if there's a specific set of steps that you need to take when you're onboarding a new employee, for example, for your customer. That's another one that I see a lot of people using that for, is like, make sure you set them up with the key card, make sure you are giving them, setting up this account, that account for them, things like that. So not contact, new employee setup, that would be the one that I'm showing you. Or just yesterday, somebody else also was like, oh yeah, if I know that I need to do these like 5 steps because the customer requested me, that's a really easy one for an ad hoc worksheet. But once you have these set up, they're pretty easy to implement. You can actually attach worksheets to your custom fields, ticket custom fields as well. So I'll show you where you can set that up. If you go over to admin, tickets, ticket worksheets, this is where those templates exist. And this is where you were saying the text is a little bit more difficult because it gets a little bit cut off. So like I said, I'll pass that along. But again, you can clone these, rename them as needed, attach them to specific custom fields. And then you can even have Synchro automatically attach those worksheets when you're setting up your automated remediations. You can say, if this thing happens that is super important to me, low HT space, CPU usage alarm, agent offline alert, whatever the issue is, and you're having Synchro automatically also convert this into a ticket for you. You can now attach that either to the custom field type that will also automatically, here you go, the virus removal ticket custom field type. You can then, when this ticket gets created, that worksheet will already be automatically attached there for you. And then your techs already know which next set of steps that they need to take with this ticket that was automatically created. So I could probably give you guys at least like 3 or 4 other examples, but I am going to stop there because I see other questions filtering into the queue, and those are also important. So we'll grab those next.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tatiana. Patrick has a question. Can you go through how we might change the subject line on ticket emails if we want to rearrange things from the default? So I'll go ahead and grab that one. So the places that you can change up your ticket email subject lines are going to be one inside your mailbox. So if you'd like to edit your autoresponders from incoming tickets that then your mailbox is creating, one way you can do is hit advanced and then the autoresponder override. And then that way here you can edit the subject line that goes out to the clients. Another place you can do that is in automated remediations, where Tatiana just was. So with the RMM alerts here, that with the automated remediations, that this is another place that then you can edit your own subject lines for emails that come to you, for example. And so here, if with your specific conditions, that then one of the actions is going to be um, email the customer. And so here you can go ahead and edit your subject lines. This should be available in ticket automations as well, where then you'd be able to edit subject line and then edit in the own body. And then we also have a lot of template tags for you. That way you can customize that response. Awesome. And so there's that one. And then we've got another one here from Randy. Can you walk through setting up an SNMP alert? I have a few Synology NAS devices I'd like to monitor. Absolutely. So in your Assets and RMM tab here, you're going to go ahead and select New Asset. And so here it's going to technically be a manual asset. And so let's just go ahead and hit SNMP NAS. You want to go ahead and select the client that it's going to attach to. And then you can even enter in the specific friendly name and serial number. And then once we hit save, that now here it's going to take you to this page. What you'll want to do is hit edit and then SNMP details. Here we'll want to enable SNMP. You'll need the specific IP address, and then you'll need to pick a monitoring agent on the network. So then that way this agent can be the one that's polling the network for your online offline, and then as well as OID recipes. We also have an outside repository that I believe is maintained by a user with SNMP or OID recipes. So I'll go ahead and drop this in the chat box. Feel free to grab those. And then that way, when you click the link, it'll take you to where you can import in some OID recipes. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome, awesome. I will take the next question up here from Andy. He says, I use worksheets for internal admin processes when ready for the time when I'm ready to outsource those tasks. So yes, that's awesome. Great use case for those. Jeremy says, is there a way to put a link in a worksheet to link to a documentation item? Yes, I do. Let me just double check. I read that the opposite, but let me double check this for you real quick. I thought you said, can you link a worksheet into a documentation? Which there isn't a super easy way to do that just because a worksheet needs to be attached to a ticket. So it's like you would be linking that ticket to the documentation. But I do believe, if you're looking for like a live link, I would actually use a custom field, a ticket custom field type. Like I have one in here, child ticket, and you can say, you can set up a URL custom field here. And then that will be an actual live link, I believe. So let me save that. And I'll show you what I mean when I say that. Is that will now be a live link on this ticket, but I don't think there's any live links that you can put to documentation if you were to do it that way. So it looks like that would be a feature request for now, because yeah, it'll just say, it'll be a text box. I don't think there is a live link. Let me check one more place real quick. I think it's only text box, checkbox, or drop down menu. Yeah, no live links there, Jeremy, but interesting request for sure. Let's see. And then I'll grab this one since it says many minute, even though I didn't read it yet. John says, hi, Tatiana, thank you for the worksheet information. With worksheets, can you assign a fixed price when you pick a specific worksheet? As an example, $100 for virus removal if a tech picks the virus worksheet. Ooh, interesting. That is a really cool request, John. I see what you're saying. So let me reshare my screen since I still have all the tabs open. So you're saying like if the tech selects virus removal worksheet, that it would automatically either attach a charge here. Unfortunately, not at this time. This is really just for kind of tracking purposes for you and your team. And you can even make these available via the ticket. If you pull in that as a tag into the ticket, to show to your customer via the customer portal, or if you're printing or emailing those. But that's an interesting request. Not at this time. You'd have to pull in either that as a product or service here as a ticket line item. So super, super interesting. Appreciate that. Thank you.
I was just going to hop in here. Trevor brought up a good, he noticed that the average first response time metric on the main dashboard doesn't seem to take into consideration office hours. It really skews the numbers if say a client opens a ticket outside of business hours, ticket comes in at 6 p.m. So it shows 14 hours passed. So I was just looking into it. I'm going to continue to kind of like dive into my records here because I think this is a feature request as of right now. You can pause like your service level agreement based upon, issue types and that kind of thing to pause that timer. But I don't believe first response time takes into consideration business hours. So I'm just going to double check and verify that I'm giving you the right information on that. And if I am, I'll pass this forward as an add to the feature request as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. Corey is asking, is SNMP fairly basic? We are thinking of trying Domots, which is one of our integrations. That's awesome, Corey. So with SNMP and Synchro, depending on what you're looking to monitor, that setting up those OID recipes can really give you a lot of alerting options. And you can even set up remediations based on these SNMP thresholds. What Synchro doesn't have currently is a network monitoring tool or network like discovery. It's going to be devices on the network. And so if utilizing Domots in particular to go ahead and execute network discovery or network mapping, as well as any type of network monitoring that occurs over there, having it be able to open a ticket here in Synchro for you, which is awesome. And then I actually think that Domots used to charge for the integration, but now I think they're actually not charging for that anymore, which is pretty cool. And then one feature request here from Tony, any plans for script reporting? We'd really like the ability to review script output at scale. I can appreciate that, Tony. I know that I've worked with you before and that's something that you guys are looking for. I will pass that along again, just that is a feature request at this time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah. I have a question from Jeremy. He says, oh, this is a clarification. He says, yeah, I was thinking of a step that said add user to the key card system. And there was also linked to the documentation XYZ Corp is, and then how exactly to do that. And then he says, yeah, thanks. I'll submit a feature request. So yes, I will submit that for you. Let me share my screen. I think you might be able to accomplish this through custom fields like I was showing previously. So I'm going to build a ticket from scratch here super quick since we only have, I think, one question left in the Q&A. So I'm going to create a new ticket. And this is where I was saying, if you know that that's the issue that you're trying to resolve or like the steps that you need to take, you can say, yep, I'm building out a brand new ticket. I'm leaving some notes in here. And then in here, you could select that custom field type. Like I showed you the child ticket. Ooh, I wonder if you can have this pre-filled already. So that might be something that you might want to test, is if you can already have that custom field URL pre-filled that does link to that documentation, because then this custom field can also tie in the worksheet for you. So that would be something to test there, Jeremy. Hopefully that's helpful.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm just going to grab this one real quick from Aaron. Yeah, Andy is not with us today. And you've got a Splashtop question. So we are continuing to roll that out. I don't have all of the details on that. I know that there was a couple of instances where the notification went out and it wasn't quite available. So we are aware of that and we're working on it and working on the rollout to all accounts. But to get any more technical information, probably best to just submit a ticket so that they can handle that too. Oh, Sean wants to know, any plans to offer Synchro mobile app in dark mode? I don't know, but I can ask because I love that.
Corey says Splashtop is working like a dream for us. Well done. That is awesome, Corey. Thank you so much for letting us know. That's super cool. We're so excited for the rollout to keep going.
Okay, it looks like I started a thing with the worksheets. So let's keep rolling on this. Jeremy says thumbs up. So yes, love that emoji. We host like company-wide meetings every Thursday, and I've been loving having the ability to, and the knowledge that you guys taught us of how to use emojis in Zoom. So that's been super fun. Those are it was a super fun experience last Friday. If you missed it, sorry, if you know, you know. Larry says, okay, keep discussing worksheets. This is great. Oh, these are great. Awesome. Yes, glad to hear it. So this is where I wanted to I'm going to show you guys how to tie, and I did a recording of this, like a deep dive of this a couple of months ago. I think it's been at least a couple months. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen here. Looks like I am. Okay, so I'm going to head back over to the admin section, and then under tickets, and right here, I open ticket custom fields. I open that in a new tab, and I skipped a quick step. So let me reopen it again. Ticket custom fields. So this is where I was saying you get those options to select from right here. So ticket custom field, when you're creating a brand new ticket manually from scratch, this is where I'm selecting a ticket custom field type. So for mine, if I said virus removal custom field type, again, if we click into here where you're building those out, I'm going to click manage fields. You can say this is a text field, drop down menu. Let's create a new field. This is what I was asking Jeremy to test, but we'll just try it right now. We'll say custom link pre-filled to documentation. I don't think it's going to work, but we're going to try it. And I'm going to say web link and then create ticket field. Yeah, see, there isn't, sorry, Jeremy, there isn't a way to pre-fill what that link is. It's just requiring you to enter it here, if that makes sense. But the other piece I wanted to show here before we get off of worksheets, this is going to be when you're building out those custom field types. This is where you can say for this virus removal worksheet type right here, worksheets that will be added to tickets of this type is right here, virus removal worksheet, and that's what's going to pre-fill there. So yeah, I don't have a good option for you for the linking the documentation, but that is how you attach custom fields to your worksheets. Hopefully that's helpful.
Awesome. Thank you. I love worksheets. I think it's funny because I think there's so many different use cases, and depending on personality types, like I know I'm not necessarily a list maker, but I should be. So if I can predefine a list and have them automatically attached to something, that's like, we're on to something there. So I only have to make the list one time. So I do like worksheets. I was going to ask Trevor, the question is, any plans on updating Windows patch management? I have an idea of what you would want updated, but I would love to hear it. So because we're always looking to improve our feature set, and Windows patch management is something that, you know, we're definitely have a close eye on. So I would love to hear details on what you would like to have updated. Like I said, I think scheduling specific patches, like specific KBs, because right now, and maybe, I don't know if anyone wants to show Windows patch management being able to schedule. I know you can't schedule specific KBs, but you can schedule specific categories. I'd love to see only patches pending I've approved. Got it. So an approval stage, we've definitely heard that one for sure. But yeah, keep those requests coming, because I definitely want to know. I definitely want to know. Perfect. Go ahead, Tatiana.
Yeah, I have, Dave has some feedback here. It looks like he had to hop off for a second. So I think I responded to this question. I think it's regarding the ARMM screen real estate is much less now for the remote splash top icon. So I would reach out to support on this. If there's something happening that is not expected through Synchro, or is related to Splashtop or the remote access through Synchro Live, not super clear there, but our team would need to troubleshoot that for you. We don't have access to your account. We don't know how to troubleshoot those types of things. So I'm really sorry. I wish I could help you out, Dave. I just don't have the ability to do that on today's live session. And then a question, or a comment from Andy. He said, worksheets are great with recurring tickets. Ooh, yes, Andy, there you go. He said, when I get my invoice from Synchro, I now have a recurrent ticket to coincide with that, which is a ticket to add an invoice to my accounting software. Synchro is keeping me organized better than I've ever been. I love that. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and I'll show you guys. This is great. I didn't even think of that. So on any ticket through Synchro, maybe you have, maybe you can create a a monthly maintenance or quarterly maintenance, something like that. And you can have a quarterly maintenance worksheet created here. You can then turn this ticket into a recurring invoice, just like this. And you can say, this is our monthly maintenance, and it's going to be automatically attached to this customer. It will run monthly or however often you want it to. And then you can make it on the 1st of the month, 15th, whatever. But that's really, really smart, because then it reminds you by putting in a ticket in for you, and it already has the worksheet attached. So super cool. Love that suggestion. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Randy says, I'd like to be able to exclude patches, would like the drivers not to repeat themselves on the install patches screen, and would like the vulnerable systems patch report have the KB description. Love it. Passing it along. Thank you.
Yes, those are all really good. I have a question from Corey. He says, in third-party patching, can you give a quick example of adding a chocolatey package like QuickBooks Desktop? We haven't been able to figure this out. So yes, let me share my screen. I will take you there. So if you go over to policies through Syncro, and let me clean up some of my tabs here, make this nice and pleasant to look at instead of chaotic. There's a couple different ways to get here. So if you go to policies, you can either open, if you guys are testing Syncro, you can either open one of these that just come out of the box, or if you go to policy modules and you click third-party patch management, those are the two ways to get there. So if we're in a policy, we're going to scroll down a little towards halfway, third-party patch management. Again, it takes you to that same module section as I opened in a new tab there. So when you're building out third-party patches through Syncro, just create a new one from scratch, or use the ones that, I don't know if we have any bootstrapped, but scroll down. We give you a predetermined list to start from the beginning. We give you a predetermined list of the most popular apps to choose from, and then you tell Syncro how you want it to respond to each one. So for you, if it's a custom app, you said QuickBooks Desktop, just click Add Application here. I would go to Chocolatey and look up what it is you're trying to pull into Syncro. So I have never looked up QuickBooks Desktop, so we are going to do this on the fly. QuickBooks Desktop, okay. And then it looks like they don't have any. Maybe I'm misspelling QuickBooks wrong. I don't know if it's 2 words or 3. 0 packages. So it looks like it might not be available. So we do have our resident chocolatey expert, Jeremy, here. Jeremy, I'm putting you on the spot. I saw your name. I know you're here. But I'm going to drop a video that Jeremy made on how to use Chocolatey to uninstall certain things. So he might have a better idea of how to, like, maybe there's a way, maybe I'm just not looking this up correctly. Usually what you'd be able to do, so a good example of what actually does work, and I know is 100% available, is Slack. This is what I use. If you've been on a demo with me, I've showed you Slack. So for how it should work in theory is if Chocolatey, which is a community repository, if it has what you're looking to download on or deploy onto your customer's endpoint. So for me, it's Slack. Search for Slack. For your case, it would be QuickBooks. If QuickBooks doesn't exist, there's probably a way for you to upload QuickBooks into Chocolatey. I don't know how to do that. I'm not a Chocolatey expert, but if it's available, you should be able to search it here. You should be able to click into what that software is that you're looking to deploy, read through the documentation, see how many downloads, read the comments, kind of do your due diligence, obviously. And then you would be able to pull in anything that's available in Slack into our third-party patch section here, add the application, and then we will take care of installing it for you and keeping it up to date based on the schedule that you specify here. So QuickBooks one, don't know how to upload it to Chocolatey, but if somebody does do that, or if you figure out how to do that, you should be able to pull it into Syncro. So hopefully that is helpful to you. And I dropped that video that Jeremy made into the chat box for you as well, if you guys are looking to custom uninstall certain apps.
Thank you so much, Tatiana. That was awesome. Martin, thank you so much for sharing this. We really appreciate, you guys coming to these sessions because we learn from each other. And so I really appreciate you sharing this. Not so much a question, but some advice. When checking boxes next to assets in the assets in RMM, when wanting to run a script against all of the checked assets, you must select manage in the dropdown and not actions. He did make this mistake and end up running a script against all the assets when he just wanted the 10 that he had selected. So I am just going to share my screen to show you what he is seeing. So here, if you're going to run a script against selected assets, what you'll want to do is go ahead and select here. And then if it is like not within a saved search or anything, to go ahead and hit manage and then run script. When you see that, it'll show you which devices you've selected. And so here, then you'd be able to execute what Martin was trying to do, where he was just wanting to run the script against those 10 assets. Showing you the flip side, where you can run a script against all your assets or a select one within a saved search, is going to be under the actions button and run script. And so notice that it won't tell me anything that I've selected. I actually can apply a filter. So whether it's all Syncro devices or those within a saved search, per customer or per policy, that then you can run it. But yes, Martin, for the ones that you select in particular, you'll definitely want to hit manage. Thank you for sharing that. Jeremy has a question for us. Okay, subject shift for you. Car emoji, love that. I'm about to hire a courier to handle picking up and delivering laptops to clients. I want a proof point delivery signature page, and I was working on building one in Word, but if you have a suggestion of how I could build that into Syncro, so it included information on the ticket like serial numbers, it would be awesome. Any suggestions how to integrate that kind of functionality directly in Syncro? So I'm not 100% sure how, just because I am not a developer, how to integrate something like that in. We do, of course, have the OpenRest API, which then you can go ahead and build out your own custom connections using Swagger. One thing I did want to recommend, that if this external person did have a license in within Syncro and be able to use that, you can use outtake forms. So if being able to, order the laptop, deliver the laptop was encompassed within a ticket, that you can utilize an outtake form where then worksheets can be put in, since we were talking about that a lot, as well as being able to have an outtake signature so that the delivery could be signed for. And so I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in on any other integrations that we have that might have that functionality. Otherwise, from within Syncro, this would be one way that you could collect a signature and then have a place to input information. And then Jason has a question. Is there a way to have the customer sign the estimate PDF in the portal? Jason, great question. That is currently a feature request. Currently, we don't have like a DocuSign integration or anything for them to sign the estimate, but that is cool. I will definitely pass that along. Just so you do know that once you send out the estimate via email on PDF, if they respond, it does populate right down here in emails. So if they've said approved or yes, let's move forward, that would be documented right here.
Awesome. I've got a couple things. So first, I just want to read this out loud because this is awesome, Trevor. He just wanted to say that we recently switched to Syncro a couple months ago and gone through 2 billing cycles now. Syncro has really got our end of month billing processes down from about 8 hours for one person to literally 1 hour. We came from a disjointed PSA and RMM and have really come to see and realize the power of Syncro, automated remediations, and having a PSA that is integrated into your RMM. Very happy we switched. So I posted that for the team because that is like exactly what we're trying to do. Like, I think like the value that you're seeing is 100% what our goal is. So thank you for posting that. Appreciate it. So happy you're happy. The other one I was going to grab from Eric. You should not have to be manually updating your GUID. So I would definitely reach out to our technical support team, because if it's enabled on a policy and it's deploying properly, you should not be having to update anything manually. So please, please, please submit a ticket on that one. And then I wanted to come back to, since we have just a sec, I want to come back to the business hours for the response time. So I've been doing a little research on the back end, and I just wanted to say, so if you have a service level agreement for a customer and it says right in the service level agreement if anyone wants to pull it up, but in the service level agreement, it says when this setting is enabled, SLA tickets will be paused outside of active hours. So if you do SLA active hours, that does pull in from your business hours, and it would affect the average first response time. Now, if you don't have service level agreements attached to your customers, that first response time is not going to take into consideration it's not going to take into consideration business hours at all. So service level agreements would need to be attached to customers if you want that to be accurate and only calculate during your business hours. So hopefully that helps.
Okay, awesome. I think I am up next. Okay, this is back to the third-party patches. Jeremy says QuickBooks is behind a licensed download page, and he did the emoji. So sounds like that's the answer to that one. Martin says, can we leverage Chocolatey through scripts? Definitely check out the, that video that I dropped into the chat box for you. I'm going to share my screen super quick. Jeremy explains this better than I do. I'm not a developer. I don't write scripts daily, but through Chocolatey, if you click into the app that you're looking to download, if you click into the files section, it should show you some of the scripting that's available. I don't know if you just copy paste and then you post that through Syncro. I don't know what your goal is, but that is kind of, I think, a good place to start in being able to use what's available on Chocolatey to plug it into Syncro and deploy those custom apps. So that might be another way to do it. That's probably how you would need to deploy QuickBooks onto your customers' endpoints, is find a script to do it. Probably not through Chocolatey, since it looks like it's held up for some reason. And then there's also kind of to Hannah's point of the actions to run a script versus the manage to run a script. I took a screenshot and I'm passing all your guys' feedback along to our team because that is important. Patrick says it's super painful when you make that mistake. So I'm so sorry you went through that, Patrick. Definitely I've passed that to the team, as hopefully we can prioritize that and just bring more clarity to the UI, to make sure it's more clear of what the difference between those is. And then Dave says, is there anything on the Syncro roadmap for LastPass or any changes as regards to enterprise password management via Syncro? Not at this time. We do have our credentials built in through Syncro, which you can keep track of on the customer level contacts as well as in documentation, but I would say it's credential storage, not necessarily password management. So if your customer changes their password, it wouldn't kind of sync backwards towards Syncro and update that in any way. So we'll pass that along for you. And then I think the last one that I grabbed here is from Martin. In estimates, can I create a quote or estimate for a service agreement rather than a product? Yes. Let me share my screen and I'll show you. You can create your products in Syncro to be whatever you want. So for example, the easiest way for me to explain this is if you have your customers on an all-you-can-eat type of model, or to where you're either charging them a one flat lump sum fee per month and you're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's one option that I see a lot of MSPs using, and you could create a product just based off of that. So just literally create new item, fill out the description as necessary. I think mine, I'm billing $10,000 a month, and it's just like, I called it monthly MSP fee. And you can, as long as this exists in the products and services section through Syncro, you would be able to add any product onto any estimate or invoice or ticket through Syncro. So just say monthly MSP fee, or if it's like per endpoint billing or per contact billing, like it doesn't actually have to be like a laptop, a mouse, or labor items. You can create anything that you're trying to sell to your customer. And then once the estimate gets turned into an invoice, because there's a button for that, you can then turn that invoice into a recurring invoice. So there'll be like 3 to 4 clicks there for you to hopefully make life as easy as possible. So let me know if that's helpful. Larry has a quick comment here. Getting moved it moved across is the hardest part. I think this is in regards to the time savings for billing. He's saying getting moved across is, and that's what we're here for. That's why we do demos for you guys. We host live Q&A sessions twice a week to hopefully make that as easy as possible. So I'll stop talking. I think I covered all mine. I'll let somebody else take over.
Okay, I think I'm next. But I think I'm going to need the team to help me answer this question. So Roger says, I have an invoice that was incorrect and charged sales tax. That was my mistake. Can I refund that invoice without crediting the charge back to the customer and just carry an extra few dollars paid as customer credit? So I did find where they could execute the refund, but Crystal, Tatiana, I'm not sure if you guys know if when he executes the refund and he does have a payment processor integrated, does it go back to like the card that was charged or whether it gets applied as customer credit?
I believe it gets applied as customer credit.
Okay. So Roger, I'm here on the customers page and I can drill down to the specific invoice. And so on the invoice, you'll have actions. Oh, maybe this wasn't where it was. I am so sorry. Okay, let me go back. Maybe I did it in payments. Let's see. We might have to come back to me because I had this all figured out and then lost where I was. Okay, let's see.
Stuff gets into it.
Okay, so I clicked, oh, this is my refund that I executed. Let's see. Huh, okay, come back to me on this. I found it and then now I will refind it.
All good. I was just going to grab, Corey was saying, hey, Eric, we recently had the same issue with Screen Connect. Make sure you upload to Syncro the installer with the exact name screenconnect.exe. That resolved it for us. So hopefully that helps. Thanks, Corey. And then I was going to just address Larry, just in regards to response time from technical support. You know, we definitely we're growing our team, which is really, really exciting. So we're working on bringing our response times down. So yes, we're working on it, and we have awesome people, and we're hiring like multiple folks as well to join the team. So we're really excited about that. So we're going to be improving that over the next few weeks, which is great. Let's see, there's a lot in here that I haven't quite read yet. Anyone else have anything?
I found it. Okay, let's go back. All right, so I think because I kept clicking on the payment that we already refunded, so then it didn't work. But if you're on a specific invoice, and we did refund this one, that under actions, you will have this refund button here. And then when you click that it'll let you refund the amount as well as you can execute a partial refund. And so this is where you can go ahead and refund here. And then one thing that Roger, you'll probably want to just test out is if it goes to the customer credit.
Are you up, Kat?
I think so. It looks like, I don't know if my Zoom is frozen or something weird is going on. I can't see Hannah. Okay, I am going to grab this next top one on the list. Patrick, oh, Martin is kind of, it's so awesome when you guys are kind of having conversations and building up the community. So I think this is in response to accidentally running a script from the actions. Martin said they did it on Tuesday. The script wasn't that bad, but it did bring their migration from Syncro from another competing RMM forward quite a bit. So let me, I want to share my screen because that's, I would say happy accident sounds like. So let me, there we go. Okay, perfect. So I will share in our App Center, we do have a script for you guys to deploy the Syncro agent in bulk, which sounds like that's the script that you accidentally ran across all your endpoint instead of just the selected ones. So sorry about that. But if you go over to your agent installer app card here into Syncro, for those of you guys that are testing, we give you a script basically to run across your current current endpoints using your current scripting engine to deploy the Synchro agent in bulk. So that is where you find the resource for that. And then I also have another kind of comment here from Randy. He says, regarding estimates and invoices, QuickBooks Online has a very nice feature called Subtotal. It just totals all of the above items to make estimates and invoices easier to read. Is there a way to do that in Synchro? If not, it'd be a nice feature request. So as far, I thought it was there, but I could be wrong. Let me double check in our PDF and email template section through Synchro over in admin and under PDF and email templates. If it's not here, I am sorry, and I will pass that along. So I believe under the invoice template, it should have a subtotal here. So if yours does not show that, so that this is going to be, again, admin section, PDF, email templates, and then invoice templates. So it should have a subtotal. Maybe it's just displayed differently, but you also do, if you're editing the invoice template, you can completely customize even like the HTML here. So I don't know if that's helpful to you, but definitely take a look there in the PDF and email templates. And then I think I had one more really quick suggestion from Aaron. He says, Dave, regarding password management, he has a couple product recommendations on kind of the different options that are available. So I'm going to copy paste this. If you guys aren't able to see this in the Q&A, I'll drop this into the chat box for you guys, and everybody can take a closer look. So thanks for that suggestion, Aaron. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Let's see here. I was gonna just grab a couple. So Gary, this is commonly asked. The question is, how many emails are received for leads and tickets? We get leads alerts for tickets that come in and we don't understand why or how it works. And so one thing I was just gonna, so I'm working from my office at home today, which is why I'm not choosing to share my screen, because then I get all glitchy and go away. But I just want to say, so Gary, there's a few things at the beginning when Hannah talks about the admin section where you have ticket preferences and you can choose like for your customers, if they're getting autoresponders, if they're getting the first email of known issue. If you head to your notification center, there are a ton of ticket notifications there. So if you do not want to be alerted on first comment or new ticket or new lead, there are multiple notification settings that I would recommend. So just admin section notification settings and check there, because you can be getting notified from the notification center plus from like when the ticket's created as well from your ticket settings that you have. So I would definitely recommend taking a look at those. Oh, thank you, Tatiana.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I can share my screen. I know what you're talking about. So yes, sorry, I kind of hopped on that kind of late. I was reading questions and listening at the same time. Not a strength of mine. Admin admin section, and then right here, notification center. And then this is where she was saying, like, if you're getting too much noise, too many alerts, this is where you can choose how you want to be alerted on the events that are important to you. So there you go.
Thank you very much. I was going to, this is from Jeremy, I like this. He says, update. I didn't even know about outtake forms. So we have intake and outtake forms, and they are disabled by default. You know, our sister company Repair Shopper was built for a break fix, more break fix style business, and so leveraging heavily on intake and outtake. So all that functionality is within Synchro. So it is a toggle. You can enable those, so intake and outtake forms. So I'm glad those are working for you, Jeremy. The other one I was going to read, and because I'm just going to offer a suggestion. Randy's saying, I'd like to be able to send a customer feedback form on resolved tickets and have the information stored in Synchro. I'd also like to send a link to customers to resolve, or to a link to customers to resolve a ticket. Currently, I cannot do this, but the reverse. If it's okay to close, do not respond, then ticket closes in 24 hours. Clients regularly still respond with okay. Okay, got it. Yes, I see that as the workaround, because ticket automations like for just so that you all know, they don't run on resolved tickets. so like on the default resolved status, they will not run. Once they hit resolve, that ticket's done. You can use Mailer to send out like automated emails, but that then follow up asking just if Syncro supports updates to tickets customers via Zapier, inbound email, or other method. So we do have an integration with Zapier, but I wanted to say we also have an integration with SimpleSat. So that is a way to send out customer satisfaction emails after the ticket. I can't remember if it's an email or an app, like a pop-up, but what we can do, and I think we had a webinar and we probably have another one coming up as well, because that's a pretty cool integration. So I would check that out for customer satisfaction for sure. And then I was just, while I'm unmuted, I'll just read this. Corey says, I love Syncro. Well, thank you, Corey. We do too. The only real issue I find is the sky is the limit. There is so much room to grow and build that it can be overwhelming, still building, still growing. So I love that, because it's like, what a great problem to have. It's like, that's like the perfect problem to have. All right. Thanks for posting, Corey.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just a super, super quick follow-up on that last ticket automation one. Gary had a great suggestion. He says, make a new ticket status, run the automation on that, and then have the automation set to resolve. So like you can set the ticket status to like out for survey or something like that, have the automation run, and then set it to resolved. And then like, just as Crystal was saying, that end status needs to be resolved. It can't run from a resolved status. So really good stuff there. I'm going to zip through some of these. I know we only have 10 minutes left, which is like, I don't understand what's happening. That flew by so fast. So I'm going to try to kind of stack these in order so that the conversation makes sense. But Aaron was following up on his password management notes, and he said that the suggestions that he offered do have multi-factor option for the OTP codes, which is super helpful. Thank you so much. And then another one was from Fuzi. He said for password management, they use, I think it's called Myki, M-Y-K-I, and we love it. Our clients love it. I highly recommend. And then he posted a link to that. So if you guys are curious, you guys can check that out. And then you also can, there's a question from Randy. We're looking to implement password management like LastPass. Does this work in Syncro? Can we export credentials? Not at this time, not through LastPass, but again, there were at least a couple suggestions that we just went through and I dropped into the chat box. So definitely check those out, Randy. And then I think those are all the ones regarding the password management ones. And then the next one I'll grab from Corey. Is there a script to remove Screen Connect? We have deployed on a number of computers and that we don't want it on. And though that if we turn it off completely in the policy, it would send, and thought that if we turned it off in the policy, it would send a removal request. We were clearly wrong. So I would recommend taking a look in the chat box at that uninstall script that I provided through Chocolatey. I would either use that, or you can take a look in our community script library for examples of uninstall scripts. So head over to the community library, I search for uninstall, and I would filter by imports, and you can see basically a ton of just samples of how to uninstall certain things and build a script for that, because through Screen Connect, it's not a native integration through Syncro. We don't have a like a one-click uninstall type of a button. So I think those are all the ones that I grabbed there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Larry has a question. Is SNMP version 3 in the works? Currently, Larry, we only have versions 1 and 2. I'm not sure if version 3 is on the roadmap at this time. Good question. We can pass along your feedback that you'd like to see version 3. And then there was a question about customer credit. And so I was frozen and I missed that question, but thank you, Tatiana, for providing that for me. Just that a part was bought off a customer that they didn't need and offered to give them credit off of their next invoice. I set a reminder in Syncro and using a customer credit product line to manually apply the credit to a customer. Is there a better built-in way to apply credit balance to a customer's account and apply that automatically to their next invoice? And so I'm going to share my screen, and I found a couple of things, one of which is going to be on the recurring invoice. And so on the recurring invoice, there is an option to automatically apply customer credit. So if you do have customer credit set up on that account, that then once their recurring invoice runs, it can deduct that credit. So if you want to be able to do that, that's an option for you. Another thing is to utilize customer purchases in Synchro. And so I'm not sure if that's what you use to go ahead and intake or buy that part from that customer. But something that you can do there is that when you buy a part from a customer, issue them store credit to account for that part that you're buying from them. And so I'm going to drop this in the chat box just for you guys to go ahead and view. And then that way you can see where you can set up store credit to be then applied if you're buying parts off of customers.
Awesome, awesome. I think I have a couple here. Randy says there's this very simple uninstall script I put in the community library using, I'm going to say Nearsoft. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Very easy. So thank you for that suggestion, Randy, so much. And I think that is the only one that I had out of the box. Jeremy's asking where to find or edit the text inserted by the outtake form template outtake form terms. So I'm going to look that up for you in the KB. As Crystal mentioned, our outtake forms come from our sister product Repair Shopper. So sometimes if there isn't like super detailed documentation on outtake forms in Synchro, I'll take a look in that KB and see if I can drop a link for you there as well.
And I was looking too regarding, I thought if you go to PDF and email templates and outtake form template, there's an outtake form disclaimer. So that's what it's going to pull from.
Oh, perfect.
Yes,
Okay.
it is there.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Awesome. Didn't even have to look it up. Just lean on the team. Yes, love it. Yep. So PDF email templates, and then right here, outtake form template. And then it looks like right here, outtake form disclaimer. Put some terms and conditions here. So there you go.
Perfect.
Thank
you. And then as far as just a question on ETA on the policy upgrade, so policy inheritance, it's well underway and you'll see it soon. I don't have a specific date for you though on that. Go ahead. I think someone else had something.
Yeah, I'll grab this Domots question. Randy says, I can't find Domots integration with Synchro. Looks like there still may be a charge. Any pointers? So we just got this news yesterday. Oh, I thought it was a link, but it's a screenshot. And I'm not even able to share the screenshot with you. So I'm going to try to figure out where we got this from. We just learned that Domots now no longer has fees to use Synchro, to basically use Synchro through Domots, or to use Domots through Synchro. They used to have a separate, I think, per site fee, but they've completely removed that. So I would reach out to Domots directly. Again, we don't bill you for using Domots. We don't have platform fees, integration fees set up. Like we don't do weird stuff like that. So if you have questions on fees through Domots, reach out to them directly. They should be able to point you, because I'm looking at a screenshot right now that says that they are removing those fees. So definitely reach out to them.
Domots is also, it's weird because I think we are updating the app card right now, which is why you're not seeing the app card in the app center. But if you go to our, if you go to the API, there's the Domots token there, pre-built in your instance, or it should be there anyways. But I think just because there was a change yesterday, that I think we're updating that app card, which is why you're not seeing there. I think you can still access it from the Domote side, but
yeah, Larry's confirming he got that same email. It's free now, so that's awesome. The integration between Synchro Domots is free from Domots' side, not Domots is free. So this is recorded and I don't want them to be sending me any emails after this call. Corey says, thank you, Randy. Exactly what he's looking for. So thank you. Jeremy's happy about the tab. Yes. Oh yes, Randy says Domots is powerful. Didn't want to pay the extra $10 per site. You guys always provide so much info, worth it every week. Aw, thank you, Randy. Thank you for joining. This is so fun. We say it very often, but we would not be here if it wasn't for you guys. And we really, really enjoy these conversations. We look forward to this all week. So thank you for being here. I think that's all the ones that I have.
Awesome. I'll grab this question with a minute left from Gerald. Can I get some clarification on ticket automations? Are the conditions combined with an and or with an or? And so correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, but these are going to be and conditions that are going to be in the ticket automations. So Gerald is in the admin section, and then he's under tickets and then ticket automations here. And so with the ticket automations, when you're adding multiple conditions, those are going to be and conditions that go together. So for example, if my ticket status is waiting on the customer, and together that the ticket has not been updated in a set amount of hours, that then it will go ahead and run those actions. And then I'm not sure, can automations update ticket SLAs? And so here, let's see. Let me just populate here. So I know that SLAs can be a condition of the ticket automations. I'm not sure what you're looking for it to do with updating the SLA in particular. Ladies, I don't know if you have some more insight on that.
Yeah, it's not going to update the SLA specifically, but you can change it to a specific ticket type, because in the SLA, if you wanted like that timer to stop or something, like you can have an automation run that says like, put it into this issue type, and then it would organically pause the SLA, because that's how you have your SLA set up. So it's a little bit of a background way, but hopefully that helps. But okay, well, thank you so much. That hour flew by. Thank you so much for joining us. Please, we'll be here next week. So hope you have a wonderful, happy, and healthy weekend.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Bye.